Before Lazy Town became a hit children's TV series or international meme, it was originally an Icelandic cartoon children's picture book for healthy lifestyle back in the mid 90s. The book was extremely successful in Iceland and even got a couple of spin off books in the musical in 1997. But a lot of people didn't know that was the book was originally supposed to be a lot more grittier and a lot more serious. But Magnus Zephyr, the writer of the book, and would later appear in the TV series as Sporticus, the athlete superhero, made it not so much serious, but way more scary for the kids novel. I was a former fan of the show. I decided one day to look up the origin more closely, since I only seen the most recent 1999 sequel to the original musical. I looked for the show origins on Google, and I saw what looked to be an early edition of the first book cover was a little strange, since it only showed the much elderly mythical elf version Sporticus looking rather depressed. I got a little confused. The more I stared at the image, the more I saw comes well, what came to what seemed to be like a tape, which the label early test reel. Early, huh? Well, seeing as its eBay leak was only $8.99, I decided to get a copy from. So I did. After a few days, the package finally came in the front door with the book and the tape in it. Realized after packaging up the packaging that the actual wrapping was very dirty and a little ripped at the side. Funny, eBay would actually make sure that all packages were wrapped at least a little bit nicely, but it had a rough travel. It also looks like the delivery guy would have KFC or Burger King or something, as the packaging was rather greasy. But still, I finally had the chance to find out what on this early tape reel was all about. I set up my VCR and pushed all the tape when I hit play. It was normally cutesy enough at the colorful Lake Town, or as it was called, Sunside Town back in the early days, was waking up from sunrise. As soon as the characters come on screen, I noticed something was off. One kid looked like early 70s walked out of her house and dressed up as all hell looking, and one kid I thought was early Pixels came out of his house half burnt and half electrical. Pixel was scare Pixel was what scared me the most. I know that in the 1999 musical he looked rather electrical with his green hair, wire hair. Didn't look. At least he didn't have burn all over him. I continue watching carelessly. Then the old Richard Sporticus emerged. The elf creature came out, leaping and jumping from the behind some hills. Like he said, this version was much more elderly and smaller in this particular film. He was much more angry and usually would be seen yelling abuse to the kids. Although I can't translate the Iceland very well, but it sounded like it was incredibly mean and made out of the elf seemed like a power-hungry bully. But something in the final version of the series, actually, hey, I take it back a little bit when he starts what looked up be fat shaming Ziggy, causing him to punch himself right in the stomach. Ziggy starts bawling his eyes out as Sporticus proudly marches out smirking. Then he approached Jeeves, one of the characters who had been removed from the series in the pre-production, and start bullying him as Jeeves is despicable as terrible, weak, character. He started to get off the grass as his Sporticus punched him, but he couldn't, so Sporticus kicked him in the ribs. Even though it was an anime film, the kick was painful looking. I can even feel it. There was something to achieve from this anime feature. Sporticus was going over and started choking Stephanie. She gagged and wheezed. I could hear a couple of cracks as Sporticus went on, and then finally snapped her neck completely after about 30 seconds, killing her, causing another scribe character, Officer Orban, to chase him around the town with a Glock. Sporticus would be able to outrun the police officer, hiding behind a house for protection. Little did he know that the officer Alverson had been climbing on top of the roof, Glock in his hand. He proceeds to gun down Sporticus with the realized looking blood. Even though it was animated, I nearly crapped myself right there. Officer Alverson's then laid the body behind a dark alleyway, which frightened an alley cat. Some of the kids approached the alley and screamed in terror. Their screams began to be more distorted. They mentioned the film. They got louder and they got Before anything else got weird, I happened to shut off the movie and started damaging the tape. After I took the tape out of the cassette, I threw them in the trash. At night, I tried to picture what I saw earlier in my head. Leads down an instant gifted show, starting off as a scary animated drama about kid killing elf, bullying rather than helping fatherly sporty kids. Later on, no wonder the cover of the book looked so depressing and dark.